I want to thank the guys from PlayTri for letting us come down and do this. So what we're going to talk about tonight is changing a flat tire. The first thing I want to talk about is how to avoid a flat tire. Because the best way to fix a flat tire is to not have a flat tire. The tire itself. What you want to make sure is you don't over wear out your tires. You want to make sure you check your tires. There's usually a wear spot, a wear holes on the edges of the tires. You can look on there and see that the wear hole, once it gets down to where the little wear dot is almost gone, your tire's junk, it's finished. Or the other way, and it's a much easier way, is when your tire's filled, you can run your finger across your tire. If it's not curved and round, if it goes up, goes flat, and goes down, tire's done, it's finished. You run something over, you're gonna get a flat. Another way to not get a flat is to run the biggest tire that you could fit on your bike. The new bikes are coming out, you could be using 30s and 32s and sometimes 35 centimeter tires at a lower tire pressure. The reason you're gonna use a lower tire pressure and a bigger tire, they have found, is it actually faster. If you watch the guys in the Tour de France, they are all using bigger, much bigger tires for a couple of reasons. First, the bigger tire, which would naturally think would have more rolling resistance, actually has less rolling resistance because the tire puts a same size patch on the ground as a smaller tire, but it's supple. And when you're hitting the micro imperfections in the ground, what happens with the smaller tire that you have to use more tire pressure, your tire starts to micro bounce. And when it starts to micro bounce, you start getting those vibrations up in your handlebars. You're also able to run over a smaller rock and the tire will absorb over the smaller rock without puncturing the tire. Now, how do you find out what tire pressure? There's a company called Silka. They have a tire pressure chart on their website. It'll have your weight, tire size, it'll give you a tire pressure to start. It's gonna feel mushy at first. You're gonna feel like it's mushy and slow, but it's not. You're gonna go faster. You're also gonna make corners faster because with the lower tire pressure and the bigger tires, the tire's going to catch and corner much better than the smaller tires. Another thing that people have used in the past is a tire called a gator skin. I despise gator skins. Okay, there's a couple of reasons I despise gator skins. Number one, they are incredibly hard to put on the rim. If you get a flat, I shouldn't say if, I should say when, because gator skins are known to get flats. They are incredibly difficult to change the tube on the road. I use Continental 5000s. I love them. This 5000 I put on before Chattanooga, about a month and a half before Chattanooga last year, so I've been riding it for 13 months. I've got about 3,000 miles on it, and it's still just fine. So they last a long time, they handle much better, they stick to the pavement much better, and there's a website you can go on and see puncture resistance of all the tires. This is rated like a 0.07 puncture resistance, and this is rated like a 0.065 puncture resistance. These Continentals give you just about the same puncture resistance as a gator skin, and they ride faster and better. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is inner tubes themselves. There are 3 different types of inner tubes on the market. Everybody uses the black rubber inner tube, right? 3 different types of inner tubes and tubeless. First one is the regular black butyl tube that everybody uses. Been around since the time of pneumatic tires. Old technology. They work. Forgiving when you put them on if you're changing it out. The second type is a latex tube. And the latex tube is much lighter. And again, it takes that subtle feel of the bigger wheel and the Continental 5000 tire and even makes it more supple and handles even better. And again, is lighter. You're gonna have less rolling resistance with these because they are going to absorb the bumps again better. They're going to absorb the chance of pinch flats better. Everything is much softer. When I started riding these, I thought I had a flat, but I didn't have a flat. I had nice, soft, supple tubes that flexed into the turns, stuck to the ground. Great item. You just have to be a little more careful when you're putting the tube in to the tire. The third style, we don't have any here, are TPU. TPU tubes are lighter, again, than the latex tubes, but are as puncture resistant as the rubber tubes. One of the things I hear a lot of people talk about when they're talking about changing the rear tire is, how do I get the tire back on and not mess up how the chain goes? There's a super, super, super simple tip. Take your phone out, take a picture, put your phone back in, take it apart. When you put it back together, you can reference your phone to get the chain running in the right path. You got your flat, you're stuck on the side of the road, and you're gonna fix the flat. The first thing you do not do, especially in a race, don't panic. Everybody gets a flat, stop, take a breath, find a nice cool place under a tree or something to change it, take it step by step. First step is to take off the bike. You get the wheel off, and now you have the wheel sitting in front of you and it's flat. What you want to do first is remove the tube. Now, you're going to have your valve stem is going to be away from you. You're going to work away from you with the valve stem all the time. You take your tire tools. You're going to grab under the tube with one. And you're going to take the second one. You're going to move over a few inches, and you're going to grab under the tube. And I'm not used to doing this standing up. With the second tire tool, you're going to flip it out, and you're going to work this. So you're going to work this. And the first section is always the hardest. And I'm going to be covered with powder before we're done. Pop it off here, and it'll come off all the way around. Once you get it broke loose, it'll come off all the way around. Once it's off all the way around, you want to pull the tube from the top again with the stem away. Pull your old tube out. Sorry about your tablecloth.
Why is it full of powder?
Okay, it's full of powder because this is a latex tube, and one of the ways to help put a latex tube in and keep any tube, actually, you can use powder with any tube. It'll help keep the tube nice and smooth inside. It'll make it easier to manipulate everything. It's soft and slippery. I have to use an extension. Make sure you have an extension tool with you in your bag if you have deep rims and you have to use extensions. So you take the extension out, install it on the new tire. Once you get yourself set up, you want to take and put some air in the tube. It makes it so the tire fills the rim a little bit and keeps it from pinching. At this point, you want to reach inside and you want to feel all the way around to make sure there's not something poking through. What you want to do now is you want to make sure you put the tube all the way inside the tire. There's a little trick that I learned, and I didn't know it forever, and I now know it, and I will teach it forever. Every single rim is indented, okay? They're not flat, they're indented. And one of the things about that indentation is when you put the tube in with a little bit of air, you could push it into that little cavern inside. So you want to make sure you get that in there so you don't see, and this is one of the reasons why the latex tubes and the TPU tubes are colored, is so you can make sure you don't get the pinch. You don't pinch it with the tools. You can see that you got your tube all the way in. If you get your tube inside of there, you're gonna have much less chance of pinching it when you put the tire back on. Again, now we're gonna work again with our valve away, and we're gonna start putting the tire back on, start at the valve, and you should be able to get it pretty much all the way around. And if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get it on. So your tire guy, I cannot believe how messy I am. There it goes. Hey, we got it. And at that point, we got the rim back on. What you want to do is you want to take your CO2 cartridge, or if you have a pump and you want to put a little bit of pressure in, not a ton, right off the bat. You want to put a little bit of air in. You want to make sure that you kind of move it around a little bit, and you want to make sure you get it all lined up. Make sure it's in there good, no problems. And you want to go ahead and fill the rest of the tire up. How often do you put air in your tire? Every time you ride. Every single time you ride, you want to pump your tire pressures up to the same pressure each and every time. The reason for that, it's consistent. You want to be consistent. Pinch flats, yes, pinch flats. You pump it up to 100 and you ride 3 times and you're at 35, but it's fine. It still feels good. You're liable to hit something and it'll pinch the tube between the rim and the tire, cut the tube down. People have the impression that bike tires should hold air as well as car tires. Trust me, the technology's different. They're not going to. Yeah, so pump your tires every time. Consistency, it's gonna help you be a better rider too, because every time you get on that bike, it's going to feel the same.